In the heart of the great savannah, where the baobab trees stood like ancient guardians and the rivers whispered secrets to the wind, there was a village named Ndemu. Life in Ndemu revolved around the seasons, the river, and the wisdom of the elders. The villagers were proud people, skilled in farming, fishing, and storytelling. It was in this village that a young boy named Django lived. Django was different from other boys his age. While they ran through the fields, wrestling and chasing each other, Django preferred to sit by the river, watching the fish swim in the crystal clear water. He was a quiet boy, always lost in thought, and though the villagers loved him, they often found him peculiar. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and red, Django sat by the river with his fishing net. He cast it into the water and waited. The river was kind to him that day, and soon his net was heavy with fish. But among the usual tilapia and catfish, something glowed. A golden fish, its scales shimmering like the morning sun. Django had never seen anything like it. He carefully freed the fish from the net, and as he held it in his hands, it looked at him with wise, knowing eyes. Just as he was about to place it in his basket, the fish spoke. "Django, son of Ndemu, do not take me from the river. Return me to the waters, and you will receive a blessing beyond measure." Django gasped and nearly dropped the fish. A talking fish? Had the spirits of the river come to test him? He looked around to see if anyone else had heard, but he was alone. His heart pounded. The fish was valuable. He could take it to the market and trade it for a great sum, but something inside him, a voice as old as the river itself, told him to listen. Taking a deep breath, Django gently placed the golden fish back into the river. It swam in circles before diving into the depths. Django watched until he could see it no more, then gathered his catch and returned to the village. That night, as he lay in his family's small hut, he dreamed of water, endless, flowing water, filled with golden fish. When he woke up, the dream stayed with him. He went about his chores, helping his mother grind millet and fetching firewood, but he could not shake the feeling that something had changed. The next morning, Django returned to the river. As he stepped onto the bank, he noticed something strange. The water around his feet shimmered, and a familiar golden glow emerged from below. The fish had returned. "Django," it spoke again, "because of your kindness, the river will always provide for you. Whatever you need, it will give. But use this gift wisely, for greed turns blessings into curses." With that, the fish disappeared once more. Django felt a strange warmth in his chest. He took his net and cast it into the river. When he pulled it out, it was filled with the largest, freshest fish he had ever seen. His heart pounded with excitement, and he ran back to the village. The villagers gathered around, marveling at his catch. Never had they seen such bounty from the river. Django's mother, a humble woman, was overjoyed, and soon word of Django's fortune spread. The village elders called him before them, listening intently as he recounted the tale of the golden fish. Some believed him, others dismissed it as a child's imagination. But when day after day, Django's nets overflowed while others struggled, the people grew envious. One man, a fisherman named Bakari, was especially bitter. He had spent his whole life fishing, yet never had he seen such luck. One night, he followed Django to the river, hiding behind the tall reeds. He watched as Django cast his net, and sure enough, the water glowed. Greed burned in Bakari's heart. If a boy could summon fish with ease, why couldn't he? The next day, before the sun rose, Bakari crept to the river with his net. He cast it into the water, hoping for his own golden blessing. The water shimmered, and to his delight, he pulled out the golden fish. His hands trembled with excitement. "Bakari," the fish spoke, "return me to the river, and you shall be blessed." But Bakari was not Django. He sneered. "Why should I release you? You will make me rich." Ignoring the fish's plea, he ran back to the village, calling out for everyone to see. The villagers gathered, gasping in awe. But as Bakari held up the fish, its golden glow began to fade. Its eyes lost their wisdom, and its body withered in his hands. In mere moments, it turned into an ordinary fish, lifeless and dull. Then something terrible happened. The river, once clear and abundant, grew murky. The fish disappeared. No matter how hard the villagers tried, they could not catch a single fish. The river had turned its back on them. Panic spread through the village. The elders summoned Django, pleading for his help. Django, though saddened, understood what had to be done. That night, he walked to the river's edge and knelt by the water. "Oh, great river, forgive us," he whispered. "Greed has blinded us, but we see our mistake." The water was still. Then, a gentle ripple spread across the surface, and from the depths, the golden fish appeared one last time. The river is generous to those with pure hearts. Greed closed its hands, but humility will open them again. With those words, the fish disappeared. The next morning, the river flowed clear once more, and fish returned to its depths. The village rejoiced, and Django was honored for his wisdom. But he remained humble, fishing only what was needed and never more. The people of Ndemu learned a great lesson. True wealth was not in gold or fish, but in kindness, wisdom, and respect for the gifts of nature. And so the village thrived once more, their hearts as full as their nets, never forgetting the boy who listened to the voice of the river.